The year is 2020. Absolutely everything is on the line. COVID, multiple Marxist revolutions ravaging the street, a presidential election unlike anything we've ever seen. And then President Trump hears that Ruth Bader Ginsburg has died and he'll get another Supreme Court justice. President Trump would go on to nominate Amy Coney Barrett and take his life into his own hands because President Trump was making a power play for the Supreme Court. He already had 2 Supreme Court nominees, and now he could flip the court to the conservative majority permanently with the correct pick. And Amy Coney Barrett was sold to us as the correct pick. She's Christian. She's from Notre Dame. She's somebody who has a rigid constitutional background, a law professor, super high IQ. Nobody's doubting that she's really intelligent and that she lives a moral Catholic life. And then she got to the Supreme Court. After activists and commentators and Republican elected officials put their lives on the line for her and rammed her through, in spite of Democrats kicking, screaming, and murdering their way through Washington, D.C. I mean, they had roving, I was living in D.C. at the time, they had roving bands of militia members from Antifa to BLM that were attacking any conservative they could see on site. And it's because of Amy Coney Barrett. And because of this nomination, I mean, this broke them. It pushed them over the edge. And as soon as she gets to the Supreme Court, Amy Coney Barrett changes. The stalwart Catholic conservative upholding of Christian and constitutional values morphed almost immediately into one of these little short goblins, which make up the only 3 left-wing Supreme Court justices, and all of them are doing extremely poorly right now. I mean, goodness gracious. They're in like complete and total collapse, and they have no chance to win any decision if the conservatives could just stay together. Conservatives could actually lose a vote. You can lose John Roberts. He's squishy. Everybody knows that, George W. Bush. But you can't lose the Trump nominees. And I know it's anecdotal, but here's this footage of President Trump after the State of the Union. And he's talking to Amy Coney Barrett, and you can see she hates him. She despises him. It's just obvious when you study body language. She loathes him. She doesn't even acknowledge his existence there, and then she glares at him, purses her lips, and can barely stand being in the presence of the man who sacrificed his life to put her into a lifetime appointment. I mean, listen, they shoot Trump in the head for this reason, that he was able to get 3 Supreme Court picks. And so, damn it, like, we were sold a bill of goods on Amy Coney Barrett, and we were lied to. She either deceived us or the people that were pushing her deceived us, but she had all of the institutions behind her. We need to have a real conversation about vetting on the Supreme Court, because Amy Coney Barrett's betrayed us again. In a 5-4 vote with John Roberts and Amy Coney Barrett, of course, siding with the libs, who are in a permanent minority, a humiliating minority, by the way, that just constantly makes a mockery of the court, attacks the court, but the conservatives are giving them legitimacy by now voting, saying that mail-in ballots can be received whenever. There's really no limit to when you can receive or keep counting mail-in ballots. So what this means is that Democrats in blue states, they deferred to state law and just said, hey, whatever the state law is, like, that's just the law, and we're not going to limit that. So now every Democrat state can just pass a law right away that says we're going to count mail-in ballots to 100 gajillion days after the election. That'll be the limit. Infinity days. Until we get the result we want, we'll just keep counting mail-in ballots. That's what they ruled today. Because of Amy Coney Barrett, the person who, I mean, literally could have gotten us killed, because so many conservatives fought for her because we were told that she was going to be really solid on these exact issues, the issues of saving our constitution, saving our nation. Here we go. 5-4 vote. 2 conservatives siding with libs. The Supreme Court ruled that federal law does not require mail-in ballots to be received by Election Day, holding that states may count ballots postmarked by Election Day, but received afterward if the state law allows it. Oh, okay. So what Democrats are now just going to do is they're just going to change all of their laws to say we'll just receive ballots forever. Again, until we get the right results, we're just going to do what they did to Spencer Pratt. A nightmare. This is a nightmare for us. Supreme Court. I mean, how could anybody even argue this? How could anyone argue this? What is the argument here precisely? Rejecting the RNC push to defeat the practice of counting mail-in ballots after Election Day. What is the justification for that? There's early voting. Virtually all states have early voting. There's absentee voting. You can't even get your ballot in by election. All you have to do is put it in the mail. So if you don't put it in the mail, I mean, they mail out the ballots like months before the election. Again, you have early voting stations that are open like weeks before the election. But we're going to make this giant carve out for these people. These people, we know exactly what's happening here, right? The storehouses of ballots. They figure out where they are on election night, and then they just pump the ballots out and mail them. And this is exactly what it is. This is what's going on in Democrat states, and everyone knows it, and they refuse to stop it. Amy Coney Barrett says it doesn't conflict with federal law, which sets the Tuesday next after the first Monday of November as the day of the election. The Election Day statutes say nothing about ballot receipt, and we cannot add the words Congress chose. She and Supreme Court John Roberts joined with the court's 3 liberal justices. The majority of the court, conservative, dissented. Okay, the Supreme Court's decision injects a new layer in the fight to the control of Congress at a time when Republicans hope to maintain their majorities. It also marks a loss for President Trump, who had assailed states for allowing post-election day ballots. I mean, what are we even doing here? What are we doing here? Allowing post-election day ballots. Yuck, terrible decision. ACB and Roberts joining the libs. It's really sad because Will Chamberlain, he's an awesome dude, and so is Mike Davis, but they were pushing big time. Article 3 Project were pushing big time to have Amy Coney Barrett installed at the Supreme Court. ACB is the worry Trump appointed SCOTUS the worst Trump appointed SCOTUS justice, always sides with the libs when it matters the most. ACB determines election day doesn't really mean election day. The electorate's choice is made when the voting is complete, not when the ballots are received. Ooh. Oh, it's so terrible. Silver lining, the opinion is authored by AC, does not broadly bless all post-election day practices, holds that postmarked by election day short receipt window is lawful. Well, whatever. I won't take that as a victory. From Alito's dissent, today's decision creates a serious risk of further undermining public confidence in elections and systems of self-government. That's exactly right. I mean, this is crazy because what they're going to do is libs are going to use this and then pack the Supreme Court and dilute all your power and destroy all. Like, you think you're being high-minded. Every time a conservative is coming out and like, I'm high-minded. Oh, look at me. I'm so principled. This is what Amy Coney Barrett's doing. Love me, love me, love me. Invite me to speak at Yale. I'm so principled. I'm the principled conservative. You can pat me on the head. Dude, it doesn't matter. You're going in the camps along with the rest of us. It's not like they're going to forgive you for this. You're not going to become like their favorite because of this. It's such a losing game, but it's called power politics. It's the way politics has always been. It's a nightmare. Creates serious risk of undermining. It's abundantly clear that ACB was a Mitch McConnell plant selected by the deep state's bidding, and it's sad. That's right. She might be Trump's biggest mistake. You have an open goal in the Supreme Court. Shockingly wrong decision. Justice Barrett joins with liberal justices to hold that this federal law does not preempt state. This is terrible for election integrity. Another reason we must pass the SAVE Act. The biggest conservative judicial disaster since Souter. The difference is that a few conservatives expected nothing from Souter, whereas Barrett was supposed to be the future of the court. The worst part is she'll be pushing leftist policies for another 40 years. Yeah, we totally effed this up. Man, we destroyed this. President Trump and his base moved heaven and earth to get Amy Coney Barrett on the Supreme Court, and all she's done is betray us. Every single decision. How is it acceptable to count votes after the election day? I can't walk into a polling place after the election day and cast a vote. Ballots received after the election day shouldn't be counted either. Disgraceful. Awful decision. Worst decision. Sad development. Election day means election day. The entire rise of mail-in voting just created the condition for election destabilization and undermines voter trust. Most importantly, it also injects opportunities for mischief. We're going to go to election day. It's 5 days after election day. Banana Republic. Goodness. Amy Coney Barrett sides with liberals in deportation case. Oh, wow. What does it even mean if you can't cast a vote before election day and get it counted after election day? The results can be certified whenever they want to? Yeah, that's right. Barrett is scum. Stabbed us in the back again. Democrats are celebrating it, squeeing all over this. Ballots postmarked by election day will be received afterwards. Counted if the state law allowed. The DNC stood with voters and we won. Yay! How suicidal is our party? How suicidal are we? We have two conservatives. I mean, everyone knows what Roberts is going to do. Roberts is just going to kind of want to side with the majority every time. We have two conservatives on the court that side with the libs. So basically, we just learned that every state passes mail-in ballots. We just learned that if a state passes a law to accept mail-in ballots weeks after election day, SCOTUS will uphold the law. This is how our country dies. We literally made it up. Every blue state now has the right to count ballots until they get the election results they want. President Trump popping off on this in light of the tremendous loss of the Supreme Court today concerning voter rights. The people's votes are allowed to be counted long after the election is over. It is more important than ever to pass the Save America Act. There is no excuse for politicians otherwise to vote against the above three requirement. There's only one reason: cheating. House Republicans approved the act 3 times. The United States Senate seems unwilling to do so. When there is a powerful communist movement taking place in our country, more dangerous than World War I, II, Pearl Harbor, or September 11th, the Democrats, 5 Republican Senate holdouts, Murkowski, Collins, Tillis, Cassidy, McConnell, must vote to save our country. There can be no more excuses. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Trump going in. Yep. For all the libs, it's like screaming and shrieking about like democracy dies in darkness. This is literally how democracy dies. You depress people and you take away their vote, you steal their vote, or you cancel their vote with fraud. It makes you very angry. Anyway, keep fighting, ladies and gentlemen. What do they say? Swamp the vote, right? You outvote the fraud. Here we go again.